Hello Lolas, welcome back to my channel, guys. If you're new to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click the bell to be a part of the notification squad. And guess what, guys, if you're already subscribed, thank you for being a Lola. Listen, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, leave me a comment below. Today I'm here with Micah, and Micah is the Hudson Valor Sculpt by Lori Sullivan. Roy, sorry, I got stuck there for a minute. So anyway, you guys don't see him as often as you might see some of my other babies. Why? Because I don't know, some of my babies I just tend to keep all to myself, and that's just what I do. Sometimes it's no real reason behind it other than I just don't think to run to put them on the camera. I am actually, if I sound like I'm turned away from the camera, it's because I am looking for him some socks. Y'all know I be half finishing my personal babies, so his feet is not totally completed. I still want to do some work to his nails and such, so I'm gonna put him on some booties, and then I'm gonna put him on a sleeper, a onesie. And I was trying to think, do I have, oh, he can put back on this hat, it doesn't match, a hat that's going to be more fitted for him. But so today I was thinking about, I was looking in the forums on Facebook, and someone was asking a question about prices and saying how they, they miss the old prices, and baby, I do too. But times have changed so much since I first came into this hobby and started collecting. Oh child, I don't want y'all to see my little ugly ashy hands, but yeah, so times have changed. When I first started collecting, my my budget was not to go over like $500. $500 was a lot actually for me. I think my first doll I bought was maybe $100. No, the first doll I bought was a Lorna Miller Sand little $50 doll off of eBay that was it was silicone, but it was like the harder silicone. And then the second one I bought was like 100 and something. While I was waiting on that one, I bid it on a doll. Basically, I lost the auction, but the person didn't pay, and so the seller came back and was like, hey, that person didn't pay, are you still interested in the doll? And I was like, yeah, sure, and so I bought that doll. And then, oh no, can't use this onesie, that sucks. Oh my gosh, how did that happen? Hold on, I wasn't prepared to change his clothes, to be honest, when I came onto this video. But anyway, so it just kind of ramped up, and I could see the difference in between. So then I bought a doll in between. I think I paid like $250 for it, or $300, and then I paid $700 and something, almost $800 for this one doll. And it arrived to me, and where I really liked the painting, there was some technical errors with it or whatever, and I end up getting a baby by an artist that I really wanted a baby by for a long time. And between seeing those, in that short period of time of seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 babies, when I got to the other baby, which was kind of like the same price, it costed me almost the same price as the highest price one. So the two $700 dolls were not created equal. So the one doll had mottling and veining, and it was the painting was more 3D, versus the other one was like more thick and heavy, and it was a nice skin tone, but it just wasn't the same. So I think a lot of people in this community get it confused on, give me a second, because I'm struggling, because I really want to put him on some clothes or something. But I think a lot of people get things confused with high end and high price. In my opinion, it's not the same. You can be spending top dollar and still not getting, you know, the best workmanship or, you know, beautiful art. I've also experienced where I've bought, you know, prototypes or whatever, where I've paid, you know, over $2,000 for, and I've gotten a baby from another regular Joe Blow artist that no one is hooping and hollering over for $500, and that $500 doll ran circles around that $2,000 doll. So, you know, but at the same time, that particular one of the particular artists that I've gotten work from that was like mediocre in that price range, they have put in so much work in the community that they've earned a name for themselves. So they're just a whole brand. So you're basically paying for the name. You're basically just paying for the name. It's like when I walked in the Louis store, I was expecting to find something fabulous, but really, in all actuality, I I didn't necessarily like their purses, and I didn't find that they were anything more spectacular than me going in the Coach store or the what is that thing, that's the one that I like to buy from all the time, Dooney and Burke. So you know, some things are based off of preference, you know, and we're not going to all agree on what's nice and what's not. So that's another thing, because what I consider to that's worth my money may not be, you know, somebody else thing. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to figure out you a hat, baby. It's just, you know, so I don't, you know, I really, I don't know if I want to put you on this, but I guess. Y'all know he bald, child. We ain't gotta skate around it. So yeah, but this community is so funny. Like, it's like the community wants to control and dictate where you spend your money, how you spend your money. How ironic is that we, you know, in the middle of this tug of war between fakes and counterfeits. But even before that, we always have been, it's always been a bit of division, or at least some people try to create a division between collectors that collect high-end babies versus collectors that collect, you know, maybe average or new and upcoming artist work. Or, you know, and don't get me wrong, time has nothing to do with it. There's people that just came out the gate and they're really, you know, rocking it, and their work is worth more than some of these other people. But there's a lot of other things too that, you know, is not just opinionated, that we can also judge off of too. There's the fact that, you know, the durability, you know, a lot of people, I remember when I first started collecting, you know, Claire Teller dolls, I had a couple YouTubers even made videos about me and was like, yeah, I don't know how she sleep at night spending that kind of money and blah, 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 blah. And then they were like, I don't want no doll that I can't, that I'm gonna be afraid to touch because of the price. And the funny thing is that I felt more confident interacting with my expensive dolls than I did some of the cheaper ones, because the quality was there, and I knew that I could change those babies without worrying about the paint coming off, or, you know what I mean, because I knew I had their work before, and I knew that they were very durable. And so when I buy, I shop for quality too, because I want to be able to play with my babies. I want to be able to dress them just like everybody else. And so that's another thing too that I always used to love when I would buy from, you know, people, other artists that actually were collectors too, because I felt like they got it. They understood the assignment. They understood that we're not all gonna be shelf collectors. You know, you get some artists and they'll tell you, like, you know, they kind of try to shame you low key, like, yeah, these are not toys, you shouldn't be playing with them, and this and that, and it's like they're reprimanding you. Baby, I'm not spending this money so I can just look at it. Some of them I might, but if I want to play with it, I should be able to for the amount that you're charging. Like, I shouldn't feel like I gotta, you know, dance around it. That's just like, you know, I'ma just be very honest with you guys. I've gotten babies that I really adore the art with it or whatever, but I'm scared to really touch the doll, because just being a painter and being a collector for as long as I have, and seeing so many dolls come through here, I've collected over 200 dolls. I've collected from over 60 different artists in my time, and but I've been around for like, what is it, 10, 11, 12 years. So I've seen a lot, and some dolls I could look at and be like, a lot of rubbing will not be good for this doll. You know, a lot of people talk about, oh, I don't like the way, you know, when people do heavy texture. I love heavy texture because it's a layer of protection on the dolls and stuff like that. So, you know, where I might have got the doll for a cheaper price, but also it may not be where I need it to be as far as, you know, how I like to enjoy my dolls. So there, you know, it's a lot to think about. And here's the thing, a lot of this stuff, unfortunately, we don't know until we get the doll in our hands, because we don't get to see these dolls, and each one is made different. I can go to the same artist today and get a doll from them, and then tomorrow get another one of their dolls, and they could be totally different, because every doll has its own process and they're made individually, and it's, you know, it's handmade art. So it can get very complex when it comes to that. And that's why, like, sometimes people will be like, oh, I had a terrible experience with so and so and so, and the other person is like, well, my baby was just fine, I had a great experience, because the dolls were made at 2 separate times. And sometimes people try to skip steps. Sometimes people think they're doing something that's going to make it better, and they end up making it worse. Like, there's a lot of different things that goes on with creating these dolls. So I say all that to say is that, yeah, you want to shop smart. And for me, a lot of times, that's why once I know I've bought from someone, or I've seen their work a couple times in person, whether it's with doll meetups or doll shows, I kind of stick with those people a bit. And then I do like variation in my collection, so I like a variety in my collection, so I will branch out and try something different from time to time. But I'm very I'm very careful when I'm doing that, right? And you know, it's like my last baby, I really love the painting, but I would love it to have a little bit thicker texture. And, you know, again, you know, it's one of those things where it's kind of like you try something new, and then sometimes it's a matter of just like feedback to the person. Like, say, like, I really love an artist's work, and a lot of sculptors know this about me. I will inbox them and I will be like, hey, you know, I really love your work. But one of the things that kind of concern me, and I don't know if you do this on all your babies, or is this, you know, just a one-off, and I just want to know for future reference. Like, baby, listen, let me know, because it may have been, well, yeah, I tried such and such, but normally I do this. I'm like, oh, okay. And guess what? I ain't gonna lie, I will buy again. But if that baby is the same as what they said before, okay, now you're a liar. Okay, but no, but serious, don't get stuck on the bubble gum. But I really think that, you know, you really have to do your research. You really have to, you know, not automatically jump on trends or what someone is saying. Oh yeah, cheap is the way to go. Not always. But also don't jump on the trend where people saying, oh yeah, you got to pay big dollars to get a really nice doll. Because that's not always the case either. There's some really hidden talent out here that's not. Everybody think that just because people do prototypes or they have prototype by their name that their work is like top notch. And that's not the case. There's people out here that does not have that before their name. You know, they're not prototype artists, but they're doing like back in the day prototype quality, because back in the day you weren't getting a prototype just because you bought so many kits from a artist or a sculptor, or just because you won a contest one time. People got prototypes because their work was very, you know, nice and sought after and that type stuff. Now, you know, I'm friends with so-and-so, so now I get a prototype. Oh, your friends, you know, I've even heard people say, oh, so-and-so did this for me, so I gave them a prototype. I'm like, what? And so people buy with the assumption that these sculptors pick them because their work has a quality or a reputation that precedes them that is so amazing. And so people go run and they spend top dollar with them because they don't even look no further. And that's not the case. As you know, there has been people that have scammed people that have had prototypes. And not to scare everybody, because, you know, this is the world we live in and everything can't be 100% good. I'm just telling you, don't just be somebody's sheep. Don't just follow people blindly. Go do your research, you know, look around. Another thing is that I've noticed with this community, a lot of times, if people don't like certain people, they will push all types of narratives to try to hurt whatever said person they don't like or they don't agree with. And like I told y'all before, with any other thing, this community has a history of, you'll have a whole bunch of enemies banding together to take one person down that they hate more than they hate each other. And so you have to consider all these different things. And that's why, like, that is why we all went to the Wizard of Oz and got a brain of our own. Like, use it. Like, you cannot. And there, like I said, you know, two things can be true at the same time. You know, you get what you pay for, and then sometimes you get more than what you paid for. You know, it can work both ways. So I think, you know, you really have to do your research. And that's why, you know, doll shows are very helpful in that way. And I really encourage people to get out. And if they can't do a doll show, you know, if they could get to a meetup, I think that is always, you know, a plus to be able to do. But yeah, I kind of, you know, if it's someone I follow regularly and I feel like they tend to collect quality dolls and I see them interacting with their babies and they're not having a ton of issues and this and that and stuff like that, and then they, you know, recommend somebody or speak highly of somebody, then I kind of consider them as a valuable source. If if I follow this person and they're like, whoa, no, I don't touch this person work, da da da, and I know we kind of like the same thing, I'm like, I'm gonna proceed with caution. Let me look around a little bit. Nope, yep, they were right. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. But, you know, again, I'm just another person that's running my trap, and you don't have to listen to me or take my advice at all. I'm just saying this is this. And so anyway, guys, again, thank you guys for watching. Makai is he's probably not gonna wear anything more than what he has on. That's just kind of how certain babies, I have different looks for them and things that I like to see them in. And for him, I really love the way his little legs look. Makai is like the dream baby paint job that I didn't know I was capable of doing. And so I really am in love with the way that his painting turned out. And his silicone feels amazing. He has such a squishy, soft, not rubbery. It's just, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very buttery type soft silicone. Him and my Jasmina have the same almost the same like feel of silicone, and I realized that I am just in love with that. I am in love with that. I don't I want to say Phoebe might actually, she doesn't feel the same as far as the consistency, but she's really like soft. But yeah, that's my choice. But yeah, so remember that price does not dictate quality. But hey, who am I?